Welcome, everyone. I hope you are all enjoying your first day of Canola Week so far. My name is Brittany Hennig, and I'm the Research Director at Alberta Canola. I will just be giving a quick, brief update on the grower-funded research projects that are happening on canola in Alberta. To start, I'd like to highlight our research committee members, specifically John Mako, who is our research chair, and he has been very busy as he sits on roughly 8 different committees to advocate for canola in Alberta. In the near future, we will have significant changes to our research committee. The directors in red will have all reached the end of their terms just within the next few years with Alberta Canola. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes and new faces on the research committee coming up. I wanted to list our research goals. Don't need to go through them all, but as you can see, they are quite broad, but being broad will help prevent missing a potential opportunity for innovation. We will be focusing mainly on the first two as we review the 2020 and 2021 research projects. That's just simply where we found the most timely and pertinent research projects to go. So in 2020 and 2021, Alberta Canola invested just under $950,000 towards 14 new research projects. And these 14 new research projects represent approximately $7.7 million worth of research. And that 1-to-8 ratio there, for every $1 of farmer levy invested by Alberta Canola, it was matched by more than $8 of investment by research partners and funding programs, which is pretty incredible. Looking at the first research goal listed in previous slides is find solutions to pest management. So I will be going through weeds, diseases, and insects. So starting off with weeds, canola hybrid systems can typically shift attention away from weeds, but we do know within all cropping systems that herbicide-resistant weeds is on the rise, and they are concerning. So we need to look at different unique approaches to manage them. And so Dr. Geddes will observe the manipulation of weed seed production based on the life cycle timing of the weed, and Dr. Tyman is characterizing cleaver populations and biotypes in Western Canada for their long-term management. And so both projects direct attention at furthering understanding and identifying herbicide-resistant weed biotypes, which is going to be very critical moving forward. I also want to bring attention to the blue asterisk. So that just denotes that these projects are specifically funded through CARP, whereas the other ones could be through other funding agencies such as provincially or federally. So moving on to diseases. Diseases actually account for about a quarter of Alberta Canola's research funding dollars since 2012. And this is mainly due to clubroot. Being discovered in 2003, a lot of the funding does look at managing clubroot and understanding that pathogen more. So Dr. Shelkoff will continue to broaden our knowledge of clubroot disease. So he will continue with pathotyping and looking at second-generation resistance and observing the disease's relationship with canola roots and fertilizer application. He's also teamed up with Dr. Pere Lope in Quebec, who is a new researcher to Alberta Canola, and he will work on developing a laboratory method to differentiate pathotypes of the clubroot pathogen. Now, Dr. Shofeng Wang will observe all things fusarium wilt. It's a newer disease in Western Canada, and she'll be looking at it in Alberta. So moving on to insects, Dr. Moore and Dr. Evandine are committed to finding solutions to manage that frustrating early season canola pest, which is flea beetles. Dr. Breyer will explore possibly using a biocontrol EPN for pest management, and Dr. Prager, along with the rest of us, wants to better understand the relationship between insects and aster yellows. Moving on to the second research goal within Alberta Canola, and these are the only 4 projects that I will go through. So the following research projects look at increasing our knowledge of the canola plant and its betterment, as environmental stewardship is critical, learning more about while the climate is changing. So Dr. Gorham will focus on the photosynthetic efficiency of canola germplasm, and Dr. Robinson will work on assessing brassica diploid variations for the improvement of canola. The next 2, I want to go in a little bit deeper into these projects to explain more about them. The biological nitrogen fixation in canola project by Dr. Alicia. I will not attempt to pronounce the last name. And so we know with the high yielding hybrid canola cultivars, they do require more nitrogen to achieve their producing potential. However, we know that nitrogen is very much a common limited nutrient in canola. When we consider natural and synthetic applied nitrogen, they both require the adoption of 4R management to mitigate or prevent those environmental effects from using them. And so and even narrowing down, to synthetic fertilizers, just the production and processing of them greatly contribute to fertilizer-related greenhouse gas emissions. So if we can bring a self-nitrogen fixing canola cultivar to market and make it commercially available, we can decrease the canola farmers' dependence on mass fertilizer application, which we know are subject to volatile prices. And at the same time, we can mitigate environmental impacts that are created by their production, manufacturing, and use. And so this is a fairly large project, and Alberta Canola is able to contribute $37,500. The promotion of wetland stewardship best management practices through targeted water monitoring project. This is a huge collaborative effort. As you can see, Tony Ciarla from Millennium EMS Solutions Limited, the Crop Sector Working Group, Results Driven Ag Researcher ARDAR, Syngenta BSF, and Bayer Crop Science Canada are all a part of this project. ARDAR's funding contributions are valued at $750,000 over 3 years, and they leverage just over $400,000 from the Canadian Agricultural Partnership. This project was also developed in close collaboration with the PMRA. And so our purpose with this project is to help ensure that farmers have continued access to our innovative crop protection products and tools. And so this will be done by continuing to adopt and apply sound environmental stewardship practices. And so we are gathering scientific data through our third party, which is MEMS Limited, to evaluate the effectiveness of our wetland management practices. And this includes preventing or limiting the movement of these products into wetlands and aquatic ecosystems. And so you can see here that this is a very big, large project, and Alberta Canola is contributing $150,000 to this project over 3 years. So our first year was 2021, and I know this is going to surprise a lot of you, but it was very dry. So 7 of our 10 wetlands actually dried up by the end of the season. We were able to collect sufficient samples, and there have been, so far, no detectable pesticides above the allowable limit. So this study is looking quite positive. To wrap things up, we have our research committee meeting coming in the middle of December. And we will be looking at 44 full proposals, which have a funding request of over $12 million. This year, we have recruited 25 individuals who will contribute their knowledge and expertise to the research proposal review process, just to ensure that Alberta Canola funds practical, timely, and scientifically sound canola research. So we're really looking forward to that here in the next couple of weeks. On that note, I would like to thank all of our funding partners, the Prairie Canola and Crop Groups, ARDAR, WGRF, Inotech Alberta, as well as the Canola Council of Canada, all those on the Canola Week Committee, and all the attending participants. So I just want to end by saying Merry Christmas, I love Christmas, Happy Holidays, and stay healthy as spring is just around the corner, believe it or not. Thanks.